Yo, I guess Beast, back with some more beastly content. Today we are going to be taking a look at the build. So, I decided to do the build preview first. I hope you enjoyed that. Now we're going to get on into the actual build. We're going to cover the mods. I have changed the mods a little bit since the last version of this. I want to call this the near complete version. Now, I still have mods I can farm that could get my stats up even higher than what they are now. But I'm also out of items. I was working on a solo haze clear, but we got to the final boss, and then, yeah, we got almost there, died, and I had to take a break. So, I decided to do this instead. So, here we go. This is the gun. It's the critical pulse. We're using shock rampage. Elemental damage and status damage boost on that mod, 8% and 3%, not too shabby. On to the Renegade Hood, we're using Deviation Expert Talents. This is one of the ways I could upgrade. The lunar mods actually can get up to like 12% on each stat. I have one on my alt actually that has status damage plus 12 and elemental damage plus 12. So once again, there's 9 and 6% here that we could have more, and we're already hitting at 132,000 damage. On the DPS on the target dummy. So there's your 130k damage DPS from the build, and here is Thunderclap on the mask. Power Surge and shock damage, this is pretty good. Could be a little bit higher. I do not think you can get the mask mods to drop as lunar mods, so this is probably about as good as you can get. You can get better stats though. I had everything perking for the last two, as you can see here. Once again, it's RNG when you're upgrading your mods on which attribute stats will be boosted. That can boost your power surge or your shock or your elemental or your status, whatever you get. For the mask, usually you're opening the boxes, and yeah, you can also buy the boxes at like the planetary Platuna guy, but regardless, and 20 of them was seasoned. So Ardent Shield though, and this is the talents version. This is another one that can drop as a lunar mod, and once again, if you get lucky, you can get a roll of elemental boost and status boost of 12% on this mod. So we're missing about 7.2% on the elemental damage, and we're missing about 9% on the status damage that we could have extra if we just get the lunar mods for Ardent Shield. I've gotten Ardent Shield drops for lunar, just none of them have been status damage and elemental damage. So this one doesn't do it at all. This one I think was just, oh, this is status and elemental right here. We actually do have one. We got one, so we're gonna equip this. I haven't even been using this yet. Oh my god, so that's, I can't wait to try Zelda Haze now. That's so much nicer, 9.6 and 12%. So once again, the run we just did, we did not have that upgraded Ardent Shield actually installed. I did some lunar mod chest farming last night though. So this here is our pants mod. Elemental Resonance, I love this one. For each instance of elemental damage dealt from the previous magazine, the next magazine gains elemental damage plus 1 for 15 seconds upon reloading. So you see the elemental orbs, they stack up and stack up and stack up, and they're doing a ton of elemental damage. So you're definitely getting the full 24% elemental damage every single time you reload, which is, you know, relatively frequently. It's a bow. We only have this as a 1 attribute boost, so this is an elemental damage boost only. You could get an elemental and a status or a shock, etc, etc. You know, things that boost power surge. But I don't even have those yet, so we are missing a decent amount here as well. I've never seen an Oracle version of this drop. It could be possible. I've seen Oracle versions of other mods drop that don't actually work well on the bow. Which really sucks. But on to the gloves. Status enhancement talents, status damage plus 20, and then we have low percents here of 1.6 and 2.4. Once again, damage in the normal enemies and great ones are what we RNG'd into on this. We had a good mod and it bricked itself, but it's the best one we got. I could farm for more of these. I think I've even seen lunar versions of status enhancement. No, I don't think I have. So once again, there's no lunar version for the gloves yet, so you'll have to farm silos for the best mod for that. And the final one is the boots mod. It's still Rush Hour, elemental damage plus 8, status damage plus 4.8. Pretty decent rolls on that one. Once again, you can get 8% mods with the good rolls just from pro mod farming. So those are the mods for the armor. That's the mods for the gun. We're gonna look at the Cradle Overrides, and then I think that's actually gonna be about the end of it here. So Transient Impact, dealing power surge damage, grants power surge damage plus 2.5 for 6 seconds, up to 10 stacks, so up to 25%. Very, very nice. Status enhancement, status damage plus 15% for 3 seconds after hitting a weak spot. So there's that. Elemental sense, after dealing elemental damage, the corresponding element's damage plus 25% for 4 seconds. So we're gonna get 25% shock boost or frost or whatever else we're using. So once again, you can do 1 HP on anything. I've showed Frost Vortex. Frost Vortex is insane on 1 HP. But Chaotic Thoughts. When you have a whim due to low sanity, damage reduction against deviants -10 and damage against deviants +10. So that's going to help you out because our sanity is really low, so we should have that whim. So we should be getting, more buff. We're taking less damage from deviants. So Bounty Hunter, first marking target grants attack plus 2% for 15 seconds up to 5 stacks. Effect is removed after switching weapons. Renewing the mark grants weapon damage plus 3 seconds for 10 seconds up to 10 stacks. So I'm going to talk about deviations in a second, but you can use deviations to get the mark status. You don't actually have to use a specific pistol or anything like that. I hate doing that because I use my Primal Rage to get my 1 HP, so our slot's taken up. But Tactical Combo, weapon damage plus 15% for 4 seconds after switching weapons or reloading. So, weapon damage plus 15%, that's a nice boost. Anti-phase, we're just using anti-phase. Resilience, when your sanity is below 30%, this is the most important one, damage received from the deviants is reduced by 30%. So, that's very nice, but where is we should have a deviation shield. I'm thinking this is actually the wrong one, so, I think, 1 second. Here we go, deviation energy defense. This is the one we actually want. So summoning or handling deviations grants a shield equal to 30% of max HP. That's gonna help me out so much in haze. That's why that wasn't working. I didn't have it activated. Okay, so that's Cradle Overrides. Now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the deviation I'm currently using and other deviation options. So first of all, I'm just using that guy over there. We're gonna look at him in a second, but I want to go ahead and place down a camera because I want to see if the camera's working right now with this bow. I think there was a reason why I didn't want to use the camera for the other bow build that I had, or for the bow build previously, because for some reason I switched up and stopped using the camera, even though the camera's a great one for marking targets, especially with this build. I feel like it should work out well, but there may have been a specific reason. I know it bugged out Unstable Bomber, but maybe that was my only reasoning, and I should have just been using this the whole time. But regardless, that's the build. That's the mods I'm using. This is the armor I'm using. It's a 1 set of Renegade Hood. That way we get that reload speed boost. That's very, very important. When you want to be reloading your bow as much as you can here. And then we're using a 4 set of the Treacherous Tides. As you can see here, they are all 6-star. And the reason why the starring actually matters, and that's why if someone's doing a little bit more damage than somebody else, and there might be a reasoning being that the damage of the bow itself, and we're also going to cover the ammo real quick, but the damage of the bow itself in crossbows in general and PowerSurge is it's based upon PSI intensity. So the higher leveled ammo you're using, the more damage PSI you're going to get. And also the type of ammo we're using on the bow and on our build is actually, we use tungsten arrows for good enough. But if we're wanting maximum damage, we're using illusion AP arrows. And the reason why we're using these is because if our sanity's at max lowness, we'll get a plus 10.5% damage PSI on top of the 15%. So that means we're pretty much getting a 25% PSI damage intensity bonus from using these arrows. It's 10% extra than normal tungsten. And damage PSI intensity is very important. So and it's increased when your armor stars up. As you can see, each star armor piece has PSI intensity. Now it's not much of an increase from the starring, but it is enough to get like 5 or 6, 7, 8k more damage out of your DPS on the test dummies. But yeah, so 4 set of that, and then we're using Overload Pants. Boom. PSI intensity is 130 because it's a 6-star. This here is after triggering PowerSurge 20 times. The next 6 shots will consume reserve ammo, and it is going to boost your shock damage by 20%. So once again, this is just a great piece. This is the best piece. People want to argue the other piece But I like this one just because those multiple shots come in extremely handy. I would not want to be using a bow build that didn't have the multiple shots. Maybe it could work out, but once again, it's just the best way to do it overall, especially if you're getting DPS out, because getting those 6 shots out, you're going to be doing so much damage. You're literally going to be able to get that 134k that I was hitting. Extremely easy. But I do believe this is about the end of the video. Go ahead and leave a like on it if you did enjoy it. Tell me what you thought of this style of the build videos. Do you like having the showcase first and then the build next, or do you want me to go back to doing the build first and then the showcase? But I'm out. See you. Go ahead and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and keep it beast mode.